This is new video right here of federal law enforcement agencies preparing to patrol the streets tonight, just hours after President Trump's announcement. We're also learning the D.C. National Guard has been activated and will be helping fight crime. The White House posting online tonight that the multi-agency task forces are already cleaning up crime, saying in one night 37 people have been arrested, 11 illegal guns were seized, and 4 drug charges issued. 7 News is on your side with team coverage tonight, breaking down what you can expect to see and digging into how the judge shortage also plays a role. We're going to begin tonight with Liana Golden. She is live near Logan Circle right now, and that's where we just confirmed a man who was shot earlier tonight has now died. Liana, this is just one area that has seen an increased federal police presence.
Yes, Scott, that is just in from Metropolitan Police officials that the man who was shot here near Logan Circle earlier this evening did not make it. He died at the hospital from very serious injuries. And this is what appears to be the first deadly shooting here in the district since President Trump's announcement of a federal takeover earlier this morning. This is also one area where we have seen federal law enforcement. We also drove over to the Navy Yard area where we saw federal agents from ICE to FBI to Secret Service agents as well. But something we heard from D.C. leaders today is that this should be a collaborative effort, a partnership between both D.C. local leaders as well as federal partners to fight crime.
We work every day to stop crime.
They fight back until you knock the hell out of them, because it's the only language they understand.
President Trump Monday announces a crackdown on D.C. crime, deploying the National Guard to city streets.
We're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States. I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act.
That gives the president the authority to take over MPD for 30 days, something many D.C. lawmakers don't find necessary and don't quite understand the logistics of just yet.
The executive order says that for a period of 30 days, the federal government can request services from MPD. And so those services will still be provided through our Metropolitan Police Department, and it's unclear what exactly they mean by that.
The fact that even though Mayor Bowser and Chief Smith has reported a 30% drop in violent crime, that Trump still feels the need to overtake D.C.
Other Board 8 leaders, meantime, like re-elected and newly sworn-in Councilmember Trayon White, do support Trump's federalization efforts, taking to social media with, quote, "Police alone can't end crime. I'm not against additional support led by D.C., not a takeover, in the community, especially when AK-47s and 30 to 40 rounds are prevalent at these crime scenes and MPD numbers are low."
National Guard isn't always trained to be in our neighborhoods, and the last thing I want is someone, who represents the military being in our neighborhoods, not necessarily equipped to handle a teenager or trying to enforce a curfew.
The mayor expressing concern about losing the trust of the people of D.C.
What could be a disaster is if we lose communities who won't call the police. That could be a disaster.
The president also said he will beautify the streets from graffiti and clear up homeless encampments, 70 of which have already reportedly been cleaned up. Live near Logan Circle tonight, I'm Liana Golden. Back to you, Scott.
Liana, thank you. And we've been calling this development a federal takeover, but let's really look at the numbers here and the changes we will see in the upcoming days. 800 National Guard troops have been deployed to D.C. An Army spokesperson says the troops should be in position later this week. They will serve in shifts of 200 each to provide round-the-clock presence. The National Guard deployment is separate, by the way, from the takeover of the police force. There will also be about 450 federal law enforcement officers in high-traffic areas. Those federal officers will be in marked cars working with MPD, Metro Transit Police, and Capitol Police. White House leaders say the goal is not merely arresting criminals, but prosecuting them as well. Crime in D.C. is down compared to last year. There's no debate about the overall data. But 7 News is also taking a deeper look. So take a look at this graphic shared by the Metropolitan Police Department. From 2024 to right now, homicides, robberies, vehicle theft, all trending down. But watch what happens when we compare the numbers to 2023. And when we look at the numbers compared to 2022, they jump even higher. These are the numbers from 2022 compared to now. Homicide, robberies, and vehicle theft have all increased. Now, the president says that Attorney General Pam Bondi will now be in charge of MPD, but it will be Terry Cole who will supervise the department. Cole was sworn in a few weeks ago as the DEA administrator. He spent decades with the DEA, but most recently was in charge of public safety and homeland security for Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin. 7 News is on your side and looking at another obstacle in fighting crime in the district, a shortage of judges and prosecutors. 7 News' Christian Flores has been reporting on this issue for nearly a year. He picks up our team coverage now. So, Christian, why is it taking so long to fill these vacancies?
Well, it's because the process to fill judicial vacancies here in D.C. involves the White House as well as Senate confirmation, unlike other court systems across the country. Now, we're told that this has resulted in delays in justice for victims and their families.
Cops will get a little frustrated with a slow pace.
And these delays plaguing a D.C. court system with 15 judge vacancies. Around 1 out of every 5 seats is empty. Former MPD Assistant Chief and Department of Homeland Security senior official Joshua Ederheimer tells 7 News.
When you have vacancies for prosecutors and you have vacancies for judges, it does bottleneck and slow the process and the system down.
7 News has reported on how these judge shortages have affected families of victims like Avion Evans, the 14-year-old boy who was shot and killed at a metro stop. We were in the courtroom when the judge for his suspected killer's case had difficulty scheduling hearings.
And then having to keep dealing with setbacks and setbacks and setbacks, and it's not being talked about. It's like it's just being swept under the rug.
President Trump promising a quicker process to fill the bench.
We're going to be appointing some judges. You know, we have some open spots, and we're going to take people because the judges are letting killers out. They just say, go.
Recently confirmed U.S. Attorney for D.C. Jeanine Pirro also sounded off. She says her office is down 90 prosecutors, but she also raised concerns that her office only handles adult cases.
I can't arrest them. I can't prosecute them. They go to family court, and they get to do yoga and arts and crafts. Enough. It changes today.
Ederheimer also says these delays can have an impact on the boots on the ground.
It is all connected. If it slows, it's going to affect the whole system and eventually trickle down and might affect the attitude of the cops on the street is, hey, I keep making all these arrests and nothing happens.
And we could see even more judge shortages come January. That's because 2 more judges have announced that they're going to retire by then. There's only 1 nominee going through the Senate confirmation process. Reporting live outside the White House, Christian Flores, 7 News.
Christian, thank you. D.C. Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton calling President Trump's actions, quote, unprecedented. Norton says she and Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen will reintroduce their bills that would permanently give D.C. full control over the D.C. National Guard and MPD. They plan to bring up that legislation when Congress reconvenes next month. Jasmine Stiles is tracking more reaction tonight. She's at the alert desk.
Strong opinions on President Trump's decision to bring in the National Guard to handle D.C. crime, and it lit up social media. Let's take a look at some reaction from local lawmakers. D.C. Councilmember Robert White posted this statement to X, calling for statehood, saying in part, without it, we remain vulnerable to unilateral decisions made without consent at any time by any president. White also called on religious and community leaders to provide safe outlets for young people, writing, any mistake could be used as a reason to lock you up. D.C. Council Chair Phil Mendelson also posted a statement to X praising D.C. police, calling them the best in the country. He touted lower crime rates, called out the National Guard's lack of public safety training, and said this issue is, quote, a manufactured intrusion.
Hands off! Hands off!
Some people already pushing back against this federal involvement. Today, a group gathered for what they called the Free D.C. rally in Northwest. Organizers say they want to make it clear that the district belongs to the residents and not the government. And another protest happening this evening in Northwest D.C. A couple dozen people gathered in DuPont Circle and then marched down 14th Street. The group also protesting the increased federal law enforcement presence. They marched after meeting in the park at the center of the circle, which is under federal jurisdiction. And in recent weeks, law enforcement has been cracking down on marijuana offenses in that park. All right, now's your chance to weigh in. Are you satisfied with how D.C. leaders have handled crime? Just take out your phone and scan the QR code on your screen to participate. And so far, a majority of the hundreds of people who have voted say no.